Welcome to the Waxing Podcast. I'm Kirsten Getzelman, esthetician, educator, and your host. Each week, we'll dive into real conversations, industry tips, and the kind of advice every beauty pro should have in their back pocket. This show is sponsored by Enso, a woman and esthetician-founded brand bringing better options to everyday beauty pros. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Waxing Podcast. My name is Kirsten. I'm literally laughing right now because I have been recording all day. This is the new season, and I'm also working on the same platform that I've been working on, but so much has changed in the last 5 months. So I literally was just live streaming on YouTube by complete accident. And when I tell you what I'm used to recording, I am used to making all of the mistakes and who cares, because I'm going to go in there and just edit it when I get back. But I literally was making all of those mistakes live. So I probably nobody saw it. I caught it on pretty early, but I am oh my gosh, I have to be more careful. And not that even anything was bad. I just would pause. I do these things so that my platform knows that I'm taking a moment to regather my thoughts. I was just pausing and just staring into the abyss and then re-talking. So whoops. Anyway, I'm Kirsten. I am your not so smart on the social media platforms host. I am also Tampa Waxer on Instagram. I have Enso Wax. I am the founder of that brand, and I am the host with the most. You guys, when I used to podcast, I used to podcast in a closet, and I used to just use GarageBand, no audio, or I would do Zoom, and I would not save any of the video because I would just post all of the audio. And I'm laughing because I'm watching myself, which is so just crazy. I always tell people I wish I had an audience, because I swear to God I'd be so better at these episodes because they're not so talking into the abyss. But I'm laughing because I'm if you're a 90s kid, only you will understand this. But I feel like I'm like Kirsten on the big comfy couch. Oh, what was her name? I'm spacing on her actual name, but the show was blank and the big comfy couch, even though I'm not even on a couch. I'm on a chair, but it is comfy. So when I look at myself, that's what I think of. I think of the 90s where she used to isn't that the episode where she used to do the clock? 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh gosh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Anyway, that's what I feel like today. And I'm just having so much fun. Okay, so today's episode is going to be fun. It's going to be fun because I've actually learned a lot about selling in the last 5 years. Also, fun fact, my fiance is a salesperson. He doesn't do it right now in his job that he does, but he is a born salesperson, to the point, guys, where he'll get on these kicks. He's such a Leo. He'll get on these kicks where he starts something new. Let's say he just starts ingesting water more. It's that freaking ridiculous. And he will talk to me all week long about the benefits of drinking more water. I'm okay, dude, you don't have to sell me on drinking more water. But that is his personality to a T. He is a natural born salesperson. If there's something that he wants to do, he will sell my ass on doing it, even though I said yes 40 minutes ago. And so between him, between the experiences that I've had in life, and between taking my own programs and courses, because like I said in the past episodes, always pick 2 a year to do, I have learned about sales. And I have also learned, if you want to know the master of it all, it's sales is confidence, right? So today we're going to get into the income really that you're leaving on the table by not understanding sales. We're going to talk about why this episode matters and why most estheticians are service heavy and not sales heavy on products, and that selling doesn't have to feel gross. It's I feel like we project what we think selling is, and that's how we determine how selling is for others. But we're going to change that today. I'm going to tell you that selling is serving. Selling is serving, and you can do both, and it can feel good. I love selling to people now. I think it's fun because I know what I'm selling to them is actually going to make them better. They're going to be a better service provider, a better person, a better everything. I'm hello, knock, 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 buy this because you need it. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, why it's important to know how to sell and why it's an important thing for you as an esthetician to have underneath your belt. Because let's just clear this up now. Services get you only so far. It's such a great way to build and make money. But if you're somebody who, you simply can't duplicate yourself unless you hire, but maybe you don't want to be in a place of hiring right now, there is only one way you can go, and that is the selling route. When you learn how to sell, you learn how to add on services, you learn how to sell products, you learn how to sell on your Instagram platform with affiliate links, and like things just become better when you learn how to sell. When you learn how to sell add on products, I've talked about this in the past episode, but it's much cheaper to keep an existing client than it is to get a new client. So essentially, you're making your business more money by being good at selling and getting your clients to add on services that they're probably going to thank you for. There's this story that I have from so long ago. I had this client, still have this client. She's a complete bleach blonde natural. So natural bleach blonde hair, natural bleach blonde brows. And she came to my room. We were doing her brows and I told her, I'm like, have you ever like thought about tinting your brows, especially just for like photos and things like that? Because she would show me photos and say that like she didn't like how she couldn't see her brows, right? So I was like, you should tint them. And she's like, oh no, like I've seen tinting. It's not for me, blah, blah, blah. So then the next time she comes into me, I told her, I'm like, look, like I actually think tinting would be so amazing for you. And I told her why. And I was like, actually, like, let me do this for you for free. Cause that is how sure I am that you're going to love this service. And you guys, not only did she love it, but she has been with me for 8 years. She's actually coming to see me today. I take clients on Mondays and I'm recording this on a Monday. She will be with me today at 5:30. I can't wait to tell her that I used her in my podcast as an example because she loves it so much. She has never, ever, ever booked an appointment without tinting her brows. Love her for that. Okay, getting back on topic. Again, you only have so many hours in the day. So make sure that you can utilize those hours to the best of your benefit by selling products. That's why it's really important. Another thing is, we only have so much of our body to give. So, instead of taking more clients, instead of working more hours, figure out how you can sell and supplement your income in other ways, which is why I tell you that selling and products are so important. And then passive income through products are amazing. And what I mean by this is, let me give you an example. So I saw my facialist for 1 year. You guys can look on my highlights. It's called Skin Updates or something like that, or Skin Journey. And I documented my skin journey with her for an entire year. And she cleared my skin. Like, love you, Megan. You are my girl. After a year, I didn't need her assistance anymore in the treatment room, but she gets to have passive income by me because I go and buy products from her. And so I go in there, I buy products with her every single month that I need a refill. She is not seeing me for services, but she is getting her monthly from me from products. So get yourself to get your clients to do the same with you. Let your place be the place where people come and pick up products. How amazing. I see facialists do this all the time. I think waxers need to get better about this because we need to treat our bodies just the same as we treat our faces. And maybe that comes with us being service providers, treating our, products just as important as we treat products on our face. So let's talk about the main product paths for estheticians. The main product paths for estheticians, obviously, are retail products. And so getting into that a little bit, how this helps with selling, especially if you are somebody who doesn't know quite what to carry yet, my recommendation on you is to try a bunch of products in the industry and figure out like what kind of route is most aligned with you, the business owner. So like there's this whole debate around like, I don't want something that's in Ulta and Sephora or in mainstream areas. I just want something exclusive to me. Great. There are product lines that are like that who only sell to estheticians. You should definitely try their products out because you align with that versus people like, I have Fur sold in Ulta and other distributors as well. But my thing is, I like the ability of people to recognize the product. So I like that people get to sit down in my treatment room, look at my wall and be like, oh, I've heard really good things about it. Because guess what? Now I have to sell it way less. They already have that brand identity to where they already trust the brand. Because if the brand is in these retail stores and is in these big box stores, chances are they're probably good, or else those retail stores wouldn't carry them in the first place. So for me, it's really easy for me to recommend them because they already know the brand. So I don't have to like talk them into that, which is really cool. But again, that's my perspective. That doesn't have to be your perspective. Maybe you want something that's only exclusive to estheticians where like somebody has to like literally buy the crack from you and they can't get the crack from everybody else. You're the crack dealer, have them come get the crack from you. But that's another way that you can go with selling. You can also private label. So this is something that a lot of facialists do, but I don't think a lot of estheticians in the waxing industry do, at least enough. You can create your own products. You can create your own brand using white label products. These are product ingredients that are already trusted and true and tested in the labs. You just have to contact the lab, work with them, test the samples, and then meet their minimum order quantity if you're somebody who can carry quite a bit or want to go into that product. The labels and things like that, you would have to get designed, put on, yada, yada. But that is also something that people do. And I don't think it's talked enough about in our industry. So that's another way that you can sell. Plus, the profit margins are going to be higher if you do white label, because most of the time you can do a 50% markup with products that are MSRP versus like esthetician price, but that MSRP is going to be different because you're going to purchase it for probably much cheaper. And then my final way, which I think is such a 2025 thing, but like affiliate. Like you can earn money being an affiliate with brands. You can be one with Enso if you have tried the product and like it. I don't offer affiliate program initiatives for people that don't try the product and just want to sell it. To me, that makes no sense. So anybody that's ever applied to be an affiliate and didn't get accepted, that's why we send you a letter basically after we deny you saying that. But if you love a brand, my best recommendation is figuring out if they have a promo code, if they have an affiliate link, if they have anything that makes it monetizing for you to sell online. That's another thing that you could do. And you should be rotating that in your content feed, your social stories every single week. You have no idea how easy it is to sell on the internet sometimes. I know I did a post about ingrowns one time and I put my link for people to buy at Fur, and I think I got like 200 and some dollars that month just from that one post. It took me an hour. That's crazy, right? So like never underestimate the ability to sell. Like think of selling at your studio, taking clients, and like things are just selling online behind you because you have posts that are talking about this. Like utilize the ability to sell. Okay. Okay. So now that I talked to you about ways that you can make more money in your treatment room with selling, let's actually talk about how to sell, because it's one thing to say, yeah, get all the products, do all the things, post all the stuff, but like, how do you sell? And it's so easy. I'm going to teach you guys this in one sentence and then elaborate, obviously. Basically, what was that quote exactly? I want to be like exactly right when I say this. You can't sell if you can't be sold. You cannot sell if you can't be sold. So like if you have this bad attitude around selling, or if you think everybody who comes to sell you something is like a gimmick or like they're just using you or all of that stuff, then how do you expect to sell when you have a bad relationship with selling? So what I want to recommend you is that there is a thing of bad people that sell products because they don't know how to sell it correctly. They don't know how to talk to their clients or their customers or anything like that, which gives the selling industry a bad rep. But when you meet a really good salesperson, it almost never feels like you're being sold to. And that's why we never learn to differentiate the two. We think when we meet a bad salesperson, we like, oh, I hate sales. That's why I hate sales. But we're being sold to all the time. We just most of the time don't realize it because their tactics are really, really good. So if you can't be sold to, then you're not going to be able to sell. So my recommendation on that is like learn what it looks like to get sold to and appreciate the people that actually know how to sell really well and start paying attention, because once you do, you'll realize that people sell every single day. I'm selling you right now on how to be a better salesperson. Weird, right? Another thing. So there's this thing that I learned in this program. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever learned. I always take this with me with whatever I do. But basically, when I think of selling, I think of like the bridge of belief, right? That's what I was taught. So I'm just regurgitating this, but I really do understand it. And I've taken this program so many times that I really feel like I can teach this back to you. But basically there in the selling world is like this idea of like the bridge of belief. And I think most of the time estheticians get really caught up because whenever they say something about a product and somebody says no, that it's not really a no forever and it's not a no from everybody. It's just a no that time. And it's because most of the time, either you didn't word it correctly, your messaging wasn't entirely on point, or you just didn't build them on your bridge of belief, meaning they need to believe something different than what you told them. Like everybody can get sold, and especially if you're doing it for the right reasons, right? Like make sure whenever you sell things, like it's something that you actually believe in, which is why I'm telling you to make sure. It's funny, I'm holding my cards like this, and if you guys are watching this visual, it's like keeps thinking I'm like giving you guys a heart. So it's like giving hearts all over the screen. But this is why I say pick your products that align with you. Because if you don't believe in your products and you don't believe in what they can do, then it's going to be a really hard time selling that to your clients, right? So like make sure all of that is in line first and then figure out how you're going to sell it to your clients, meaning like the bridge of belief. So have these sectors in your selling point where like if you aren't reaching a certain audience with this messaging, it's probably because they just haven't been bought on the bridge. So now have this other thing talking instead of being like, this product is good for you because it's nourishing. Well, that's not enough for everybody. Maybe one person's like, great, I need a nourishing product. It can't just be nourishing, it has to be more things, but more importantly, it has to be tailored to the client. So all clients just want to feel like they're being heard. That's one of the biggest things about being somebody who sells is it's less about selling the product, it's more about listening and then having a solution. So my recommendation to you is to every single client that walks into your door, start your topic off or your conversation off with, hey, how is your skin doing? And then just stop talking. When you stop talking and you give your client the floor, it gives them the ability to either tell you, actually, everything's been so great. Or they say, you know what, I'm actually been really dry this month. And then right there, you know what you need to then sell them something that's going to help them, not something that's going to make you money. The byproduct is that you're going to make money, right? But the bigger goal is that you're actually selling to them to help them. So now that you have that clue, you have that ability to say, oh, well, are you doing anything different or whatever right? If you need like a deeper explanation or need them to answer more questions, because again, you're just trying to get them to their conclusion and you're just guiding them over the bridge of belief, getting them to believe that the product is right for them. So like every question that you ask is a deeper opportunity for you to sell them something. So if they're like, yeah, XYZ, my skin's been dry because I've been out in the sun a lot, then and I'm just going to use fur oil as an example because I have it, then that you're like, oh, well, actually, fur oil would be a really great product for you because it has ingredients that are going to mimic your natural sebum. So it's going to tailor its hydration to your skin. But other than that, since you've been out in the sun a lot, it doesn't have any added chemical ingredients that are going to make you sensitive to the sun. So this is a perfect product to you. So even if she didn't get bought on the fact that it was hydrating, she might get bought on the fact that it's chemical free and it's not going to be sensitive and she needs to go into the sun. So like giving her that, answering those questions is putting her on the natural bridge of belief. Does that make sense? Another recommendation that I have is making sure that you're saying what's going to be helpful to the client and not just what's going to sell to the client. So again, like just really listening to your clients. Clients want to feel heard. They don't want to feel sold to. So as long as you're asking the right questions and you are providing them with the solution, then your client should and you should feel really good about that day, because there's nothing worse also than like, okay, let me give you an example. Again, I use Megan as an example all the time because she helped clear my skin up of the last year. But Megan, my facialist, I went to her specifically because I was having acne. What a disservice would it have been if I walked in, I sat down, I told her I had acne, and then she was like, okay, well, let's just do this peel. And like, that's it. I would have been devastated. I wanted to come in there. I didn't care the cost because the value of what she was bringing me was me getting clear skin. So like I already was bought. She just had to make sure that like all of the questions that she asked were gauged to my skin and then recommend something she already knew, something I didn't know, which was how to clear my skin. So basically, like imagine your client coming in with ingrowns, dry skin, hyperpigmentation, all of the stuff that they feel really concerned about, and you wax them and just send them on their way. And then they end up in an Ulta, a Sephora, spending so much more money than they intended to because they're playing the guessing game. I always say we're the professionals. We know the right things to give to our clients. And so go into your business and start acting like that. It is as simple as that. Selling, again, is not selling, it's being helpful, it's being a server, right, to your client. Another thing I always say is like every product that you carry, make sure that you know a few key things about them and not know information overload. So sometimes when we get nervous, we like to like almost make ourselves seem like a more of the expert than we are. And so if we're recommending a product to somebody, we'll say like, oh, well, this has this and this and this, and it also does this and it does this and it does that. You've already lost them. They now know that you're just talking about everything of the product and not about what the product can do for them. So have some key traits in mind so that when a client does say that they have ingrowns because of X, you can say, oh, well, this product has lactic acid, which is a bigger molecule, which is really great for you because you're sensitive. And also what's really great about it is that once it lands onto the skin, it starts to break up your dead skin cells. And so we love it for ingrowns. And I know that you'll end up having a really good experience with this product. So being more specific with your selling with the clients is always really helpful rather than just spewing off everything you learned about the product and just telling them every single thing. Get very specific, use smaller verbiage, and just get right to the point. And then give them a moment to decide. I think, too, when you fill the silence with more words, it's really just not allowing them to decide if the product is worth it for us. Because remember, as a buyer, you also have to go through all of the stuff in your brain. Like, do I want to spend my money? Is this right for me today? All of that stuff. Give them some time to think about that. One of my favorite recommendations for estheticians that are starting off, or just anybody in general, is when you're starting your business, start small with product lines. Get really good at a few of them and then add on from there. People love that because they're like, okay, cool, I don't have to carry everything. No, you should get really good at selling a few products and then you can carry more. And then once you know how to master selling, you can have so much more to sell. But for the moment and for the purpose of selling, like have a couple of curated products that you just can sell like hotcakes because all products can be sold, right? It's all the same once you start selling it. But when you have too many to pick from, that's when it becomes very, very overwhelming. And then success stories, using Instagram as a platform to talk about the success stories in your treatment room. I know people use a lot of like before and afters with like facials, but you can do a lot of before and afters with ingrowns. So like pinning them to the top, making people know, especially if you're like an ingrown master or you're somebody who like specializes in clearing people's skin, like take social proof, do social reviews, like put all of that stuff online and on your website and all of that stuff so that you can just better perform. Because when people see those, you're putting them on that bridge of belief. You're just visually doing it. So somebody could walk in and just already be ready to purchase products without you even saying anything. And a lot of that comes with selling online. And one of my favorite things about selling is just reminding yourself like selling is helping and you would be doing a disservice to your client as a professional esthetician if you did not sell products to them. Waxing is an easy business to be in because it's like when you wax, you don't have to do anything else at home, but put on some products, like put on some exfoliants. Like you get to have like fun nighttime routines, but on your body. It's like, hello, how cool is that? All you have to do is maintain that to have a really good experience. And all you have to do is come in once a month after that. And so going back to like why we sell products, it's to give them the best results. I got an ingrown in New York when I was there for the IECSC show and I pigmentated so bad and I'm still dealing with it. And I am like self-conscious about it, even though nobody can see it. And I have one. So imagine the client that has a lot that comes in and you're not selling anything to them. Like I would be upset if I went into a treatment room, had these issues and didn't get it situated and handled by my professionals. So just know that you're doing the Lord's work, okay? You're doing it. And yeah, just remember your hands don't have to do all the work. You can sell and make a heck of a lot of money in your treatment room. And maybe that means not getting another employee. Maybe that means staying a solo esthetician. I know that there are people in our industry making multi six figures from just selling products. Maybe you can do like an online store, or you can be an affiliate, or you can sell them in person, or you can have like pickup days where from 3 to 5 people come and pick up products and they can DM you and do all of that payment there. And you can send them invoices. Like there's so many ways that you can do it. Just make sure that you're the spot that people want to pick products from. And that really comes with trusting and really comes with them understanding that you have what's best for them in mind. And I promise you the selling will be so easy, and practice and practice and practice and practice. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. I promise you, as somebody who hated to sell when I first started in esthetician school, who sells now all the time with no issues, because like I just know the products all so well that I know that like you're going to get the results with this, you know? And I'm not going to do them a disservice. So, okay, do you retail in your room? Are you afraid of retail? Hop in the comments, let me know. I can't wait to answer a few of them. And yeah, again, follow us on social. And that was such an abrupt ending. With these cards, I have like notators and like little things so I don't forget where I'm at so I can be way more detailed. But it basically said like call to action. And I'm like, okay. Okay, guys, this is it for this episode. I hope this made you feel a little bit better about selling to your clients. I hope this was helpful for you. Like I said, the goal for these episodes is for you to leave inspired, for you to leave educated, or for you to leave just feeling like you had a FaceTime with your friend. That's me. All right. I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Waxing Podcast. If you found today's conversation helpful, be sure to follow the show and leave a review. It helps continue creating resources for beauty pros just like you. For updates and more, follow us on Instagram at the Waxing Podcast. I'll see you next week.